Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by our lovely sponsors, Pawtion, all natural, single protein dog food snack company. Muscle Talks 25 for your first order, 25% off, and Muscle Talks 10 for continued orders, 10% off. Also, premium Australian supplement company, Primabolics, best protein and pre-workout, and more on the market, that is. Go to primabolics.com.au and use their generous discount code MuscleTalks15 to get 15% off. Let's get into this podcast.
My coach now, he'll tell me to do something, and like he's like, I'm the type of client, or he'll say jump and I say how high. Like I want to perfect every single thing, because if I know like I perform better doing that than I am doing it myself, or having someone say, oh yeah, just if you do it like this, I want it to be told exactly what to do. Everyone wants to win, I understand that. I want to win badly.
First call out.
First call out overall, that's what I want.
Best amateur.
Best amateur. I want to win. I want to win the whole show. But I know everyone's there to win, and I know I'm also confident in what I've done in the past 2 years to be able to prove and show that. How I'm built, like I like building things, and with coding and problem solving, there's always there's like a bigger picture, and you're trying to solve it, and I like working towards that, whether it's code or some other thing, that there's a problem there that you're trying to resolve.
He's IFBB ready to rumble, Nabba the King. Please help me welcome. It's either going to be a disgusting or beautiful body. Please help me welcome the good role model guy for family and friends, Jerome Simpson. I know you.
I love the intro.
You love it. Trust me, man. You got to see this script writing, man. I'm going to get somebody else to do it. The script writing's killing me.
Have to start using some AI.
I do though.
Oh, do you?
How good is AI?
I use it all the time.
I've introduced AI to write poems. So obviously, I'm seeing someone, and I don't deny to her that I don't use AI. I'm not here to say I'm a poet, but like I'll think about the morning or what we've spoken about or what's happened over the weekend, and I'll type in AI, I need a poem about building strength. I need a poem about sadness. I need a poem about sorry. I need a poem, whatever it is, and AI is unreal.
It is. I use it heavily in my corporate job, which we'll talk about later. But
Yes.
I'll give it a problem I'm having. I'm stuck on it for a couple of days. I give it my issue, solved it within 20 seconds.
No way. That is
Beautiful.
super cool, man.
Yeah,
God, I wish I was back in IT. I'd be looking like a better technician than what I was. Jesus Christ.
It makes me look a lot better than I am too.
Oh, no, that is what I need. I need AI to start talking to my customers, man, not me. I need AI to talk to everyone. It's true. AI should just be doing my work. What do you reckon, Chris?
It will, don't worry.
All right, last post a day ago. It will, yeah. Have you heard about, look, since this is what the podcast is about. Have you heard about this ASI, also the super
intelligence?
What's it called?
Artificial super intelligence.
Artificial super intelligence. ASI is coming.
No, what's up?
So ASI says
Basically self-improving
itself.
AI.
So it's a super. So
Well, it's
artificial super
Intelligence.
Yeah. So my understanding is that there's certain different AIs, whatever you want to call it. So for example, like the Microsoft one, that's a closed environment. So I use that for work in the corporate environment, and that I believe doesn't learn off what you give it. Whereas ChatGPT, everyone's using it, it's going to learn.
Yeah.
Whereas
No, but there's AGI. So there's AI. AGI, and there's going to be ASI. And ASI, they reckon, is going to come in at 2028. That's why they keep talking about it and building stuff about it. What they're saying is this thing doesn't need you. It will it'll self-work. It'll run itself. So it doesn't need, so it's self-learning. So self-learning.
Yep.
And they reckon, you know how Elon Musk has got that neurochip?
Yeah.
They reckon that the reason they're doing the neurochip is that you're going to need it to keep up with computers because you can't keep up with them now.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So isn't that crazy?
I know.
Scary.
I know.
It could be, who's going to be John Connor in the Terminator?
Who knows?
Actually,
anyone.
Chris can be Sarah Connor. Do you know who Sarah Connor is? Yeah, okay, it's good. All right, last post a day ago, mate, you wrote, no changes to food or output since last update. Output hasn't changed in over a year. Ha ha ha. Push is the only session that has to take a very minor hit. That happens every time for me. I'm going to go through a bit here, right?
Yep.
Every other session, numbers are increasing rapidly still. And this bit, I thought, insulin usage for diabetes has come down even more. So meals, I don't even use to fast act or insulin sensitive through the roof. What does that all mean?
So first of all, I'm a type 1 diabetic.
Okay.
Have been for over 20 years, so 2/3 of my life.
Yep.
So obviously that plays a big role in how my body operates.
Yeah.
So just being, if I was a gen pop, just your average person, it's already hard enough as it is. You throw in bodybuilding in the works, and it's quite complex. There's no rules. There's no things to go by. You could do one thing one day, it'll be perfect. The next day you do the exact same thing, it'll be all over the place.
Right.
So it's very challenging in managing, but I've had it, pretty much my whole life. I kind of know my body pretty well, so I can kind of like adjust and see accordingly what's happening and just look out for markers. The biggest thing is just looking out for trends really and seeing what the trend is and then how I can manage that and having an action plan for that. So in prep, obviously things are changing pretty quick. The more I eat in the off season, the more insulin I need, more food, etc. And then also in prep, the less I'm eating, the less insulin, the more flat I get. All these different things. And it's not just it doesn't just play around with carbs or whatnot. If I eat a steak with, let's say, 50 grams of protein and 100 grams of carbs in the off season, I would need. Because of the fat content, I would need more, and it impacts me more than it would with a leaner protein source, for example, with a lesser amount of fat. So there's so many different variables. Like it's basically open one door, 12 open, it's just managing that every day, every hour of the day, for the rest of my life. But I wouldn't have it any other way. It's helped me shape who I am. It's helped me shape my thought process. My characteristics, my personality. So it's a huge player of who I am.
How was it when you found out?
9, 8.
What was it like then when you were told?
So back then, I had an insulin pump, so that was kind of like stuck to me 24/7. That kind of did most of the thinking, but that was going back 20 years ago, and they've advanced so much since then. All that, the AI stuff, as we talked about and whatnot. But no, I don't like having things attached to me anymore. But I do have something attached to me that always tells me like my blood sugar levels, which is fantastic because I've had a couple of incidents, near-death experiences in the past kind of like 3, 4, 5 years that have been quite scary for the wife and my child. So just trying to be as healthy as possible and trying to take the right precautions to make sure I'm here safe and well for everyone.
Do you think is bodybuilding and competing help? I mean, I'm assuming it helps, but are you putting a lot of stress on your body doing
Absolutely.
that? I suppose.
So,
I'm just asking that question.
No, absolutely. Look, even if I didn't have this illness, it would be a huge toll on anyone's body, regardless. But at the same time, it's all about being as healthy as you possibly can, you know, with anything. And like there's a saying that I've always said: it doesn't matter what you do. There's always you need to choose your hard, and the hard is like it can be interchangeable or whatnot, or healthy, whatever it may be. But people go down and drink every night. What's the difference between that and me living a healthy lifestyle? I guess you would say, eating healthily, training, exercising. My cardiovascular's up there. You know, I might take drugs, whatnot, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So choose your heart is what I guess I like to say.
I like that, and I apologise if I'm going to go because you said that slight word, but the reason I'll start with me. At 49, they're going to hear this all the time on the podcast. If you haven't listened to it, at 49, I decided to do my first cycle. Right? Not competing. I've never competed, but I've trained, and I'm doing all right. I think for 55, I think I do all right for 55, and it shows that I've probably been very good at some stages, and I plateaued, but I think I can move things around. Like I can be better than this. I know I can be, and naturally I can be better. And even if I go on a cycle, I can be even better, right? So, because I already know my markers, which is good food. I'm just an advocate for that.
Absolutely.
Always been diligent, strict. But I know when I took cycle. I didn't have a coach, and just did it with a gym bro. He was okay. It was very 80s, 90s style kind of gym bro stuff.
I can imagine. I can already imagine.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't like we didn't do bloods, we didn't do anything, we didn't go do tests, we didn't do jack shit.
Yeah.
But I have occasionally colitis. Colitis is inflammation of
stomach.
Yeah. And for some reason that flared up, and I kept going. And I got this mad body, but I was breaking down inside. But I got afraid that it was I abusing it because of the steroids. But what I'm saying is, when I look back there, but then I was down on myself. I said, maybe I shouldn't have done that stuff. I wouldn't have had the problem. But I've had the problem without that stuff.
Yeah.
So does that make sense? I'm thinking like, how clean are we? We're clean, but how far are you pushing the body? And I thought, maybe I pushed it too far. I don't know. But
what's the thing? You don't know until you do.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of like about this sport. There's so many different aspects, or so many different variables or streams you can go down that you can push. You can push your food, you can push your training, you can push your drugs, you can push your rest. So many different variables. And you don't know your limit until you get there. And then if you do hit your limit, it's not really a saying, but there's an analogy that I use. You hit a hard point. Let's just say you hit a hard point of your peak off season weight. 300 pounds is what like my max is, 134, 136 kilos. Once I get there and I stay there, the first time I hit it, it sucks. And then the longer you stay there, the more you get comfortable, it becomes normal. And it's the same thing with any other aspect of life. You start learning code, which we can talk about later. It's so hard, it's this and that, you can't do it, and then you kind of understand it more, and then it becomes normal, and then it becomes just like brushing your teeth. And then you think, oh, this is actually okay. So I like to use that analogy.
Yeah, no, I like I said to you, I looked amazing, but I think at the end I got greedy. When I say I got greedy, I thought, what I'm saying is I got greedy, meaning I think I wanted to put the pedal down. I didn't need to. I could have stayed with what I was and worked on other things where better food, better rest, instead of better drugs.
For sure, yeah.
What I mean, sometimes we think we're doubling down in the wrong area. You've already maxed on it, but you think if you max more, but what would have been better for me is to have better rest days and to see my diet a little bit better. And was I having too much sugars, which inflames that maybe? Was I having, because I think I'm also a little bit, can't have too much dairy. Was there a lot of dairy going on at the time? Like what was I doing? Did I diet too hard? Was my calories way too low? Does that? And that's why I think I got spooked by. I think I felt like I abused my body. I felt like I abused myself through being greedy.
Yep.
Let's go more. Let's go this. What about this? How does this go? Is it going to rip me up?
It's a part of the sport, but it's part of any sport. Always wanting more, always wanting to be better, always wanting improving. But I think the issue with this new generation is it's the shiny ball effect.
Yes.
They see this shiny ball. Look at this. Look at that. But then they don't have the 10 or so many elements of the foundations nailed in for years and years and years. And they totally forget about that. And that's what builds 95, 98% of your progress, not the shiny ball.
100%, and that's why I said to you, it was 49 when I was turning 50. It looked amazing. Show some photos later.
Really,
but the thing is, I'm 80. Look, I'm 88 now. I was 90 ripped and big.
There you go.
Like I was 90 ripped. And I think it's not bad for 5'10",
Absolutely.
But I haven't touched it for 5 years, but I tell you what, going to Metroflex has changed a lot of things because all you motherfuckers around that place, you just can't, honestly, I'd grade just walking in there, but it just, you need to be in that environment. You need the environment. Why? Because we are males, we like to compete. We may say we don't, but we do look at the next guy looking a little bit better, probably a little bit bigger eyes. That's our sport. But then again, how he lifts, what does he lift, little secrets we're watching. And I think that's what makes it great. And then you start to improve your workouts where, like I said, you could walk into somewhere where you're just complacent because you're you're the biggest guy. It's just the environment doesn't need to push. But in there, you and others are competing. So I'm not interested in competing. I'm actually not interested to go up against you, but I'm interested to watch you and resonate off you, see your focus even when you don't want to talk. I can see you when your head down and the extra rep you're pushing. I said, well, I'm not pushing an extra rep like this guy. So what the fuck am I doing? So it is, and also the egos. There's no one really. You can tell how people are toning in their egos as well. Where, like I said, you can get It's just. I think it's a good place. This place.
It is. I really enjoy it. The place that I came from before that was very siloed, I guess you would say. I don't know if you know of Hot Bods.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I used to train. It was very quiet, not much of that environment, I guess you would say. So it was a big change going from one extreme to the other in terms of environment. And when I did that, everything changed. Everything changed very quickly. It just brought out like a whole new, increased the level of like my ability, I guess you would say.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's organised chaos in there, right? When I say organised chaos. But the thing is, we're so particular that it's all got to match. It's got to be the right 5-plater with a 5-plater. But then we've realised it's 5 kilos is 5 kilos. Just get the fucking job done. So in there, it teaches you just to get the job done. But it also teaches you to troubleshoot and improvise. Because if it's not perfect, it does not matter. That's your problem. Make it perfect or do what you can with it. So I think that gym does that, because I came from hardcore, which was a male-only gym. And I loved it. I was there for 5 years, mate. 24 hours, gym. Even you can get a protein check at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was awesome. But look, it just happened to be I met Manny, and he invited me to that open day. That's all it all started.
Yeah, there you go.
I even said to him, "Why you want me to come along?" I said, "What am I going to do for you?" He goes, "No, I think you should come along." It happened. I get to meet you.
So everything comes for a reason.
Ask Chris. I'll say to Chris, I don't know what this guy thinks we are. Like, even though we put on a great show, I didn't see the show. We've never sat and done something like that. So we were like, what do you fucking want from us? I actually rang him and I said,
he's a really good guy.
I rang him and I said, Manny, you're wasting your time. I don't want to affect what you're doing. I don't think it's worth it. Like, meaning, thank you. I said, thank you for the invitation. And he goes, no, you're doing it. I went, all right, we're doing it.
He's a good guy.
I said, we'll do it. And I came along and we did it, and we become mates. Yeah, well, I hang out with him personally as well sometimes. We go get a coffee and walk his monster.
Yeah, nice.
And but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think sometimes we need to touch on somewhere else. I've trained from Healthlands, Fitness First, Mitsos Gym.
The OG. The OG.
Do you know Mitsos?
No, I don't know him personally, but I've heard this is well before my era.
Yeah,
well before my era.
I'm not going to say he's my mate, but he is my mate. Like, meaning...
Yeah.
But he won't come on. Okay, Terry, can you come on? He goes, no. No. Okay, come on, Terry, come on. But yeah, you should have seen him back then. You should see the gyms back there. Oh, my God. Metroflex is what it was back then. And, Metroflex is... But, yeah, Terry and all the other bodybuilders and everyone that came through and everyone that trained in there, you became... Like I said, I knew nothing... But progressive overload, smashing weights, no air conditioning, garage doors open. This is
Metroflex.
This is Metro. I feel like
that's why I like it.
I said to myself, this is like a time warp. So yeah. I want to get Terry in. He looked amazing, and I went on. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's I want to get him on, but he keeps saying no. Happy Valentine's Day post, mate. I see you there with your lovely girls. Big happy fourth anniversary to my beautiful wife, Alicia, yeah?
Yep.
I mean, I've got more, I think, about her, which we'll get to, but when I sat at that podcast with you and her at the open day, yeah, she's a big fan, man. You're very lucky, bro. Honestly, Chris... He's got a massive fan.
I don't.
She thinks you're pretty cool.
I'm not cool.
I know. Well, fuck. Did you hear that? She watching this, but she thinks you're pretty cool.
I know, and I'm extremely lucky. Like
she thinks you're cool.
Yeah. I don't realize sometimes. You hear other stories of other people and like how poor the relationships are. But like I'm so thankful for her and everything that she does for me. All the things that I don't see, all the things I do see, I really do take it for granted. And sometimes I just need to take a step back and actually realize, wow, like I'm a much better person, much better, everything in general with her. And I'm just super thankful. Really, I really am.
How do you do it? Because I'll tell you why. I'm very perceptive. I listen to a lot of things. And I think I said to you, everyone likes Chris. But I said, Chris goes, well, like, he's all right, whatever. I want people to like me, and I'm like struggling. Like, can you like me? Like, I think it's funny, but what I'm trying to say to you is I'm not trying to say you go above and beyond. You don't look like the person that goes above and beyond. Hear me out for what I'm trying to say to you. But you seem like you have this nature, which maybe Chris has, and many people have this nature about them. But I think when I say this nature you've got the right person, and she really she wants to see you do great things in this sport. That's what I'm saying. It's not just she likes you, she's a fan. And I saw that on that day when we spoke.
She's a huge fan, and truly like a true hardcore fan. Yeah, like a true fan. Yeah.
Oh, a hardcore fan. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm not saying you orchestrated it. That's we can manipulate, orchestrate. What I'm saying is, you're lucky.
Yeah. No.
That's all I got to say.
And I reciprocate the exact same thing to her.
I think you're lucky. And I'm sure you did that for her. But if you see it, you should be very grateful, because you two. I admire that. Yeah. I'm more saying it that I admire. I wouldn't write this down if I didn't admire it, but I saw it on that day.
Yeah, no. Well, thank
when
you.
When she said what she said about you, I went like,
she's crazy.
I was fucking jealous.
Yeah,
how the fuck's this guy? Who is he? He's got, look at this girl. She's looking at him like he's. And I thought, this is unreal. So I'm just thinking things like that. That's my favourite thing in the world. Thank you.
Yeah, look, I couldn't ask for a better friend, a better wife, a better partner, a better a mother to our child, a better training partner, a better everything. Well, super thankful.
3 days ago, again, there you are with wifey doing a selfie post while you're doing your poses.
Yeah. So I was on a wedding. That was a wedding anniversary on the 14th of Feb. That was.
And you're doing selfies at Metroflex.
Well, I'm on prep, so we can't be going out and eat. But
there you go, Chris. Go talk about. We're never going to be Jerome. We're never going to be Jerome. He could take her to the fucking gym in a posing room on their anniversary.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was her idea.
And a Valentine's Day, mate. And it's on Valentine's Day too, Chris. Like, really, come on, Jerome. We're going to have to edit this out, because many guys are going to be out there fucking distraught over this thing right now. Yeah, we spoke about a supportive wife. She's competed, yeah?
Yeah, so she's...
Tell us a bit about her, because I've got her at the end, but let's bring her in forward. She competed, yeah?
Yeah, so she competed back in the day. She was competing before I met her in 2020, early 2020. She competed 2019, I think, or possibly even earlier than that. Yeah. She did a few shows, and then we were going to do another show together in 2021. Then she fell pregnant with Ava, and that kind of pulled her out of it. And then I continued, and then from then on, she kind of went down the road of the support, like the full support person for me, and that's how it's been since. And we've got like a really good flow. We've got a really good team based of kind of. So it's not just me competing. If I compete, I'm competing for my family.
Yeah.
I've told her, so I've got the show in 8 weeks, and I said to her, and when we were talking about this, I said to her, when I win my pro card, I know exactly what I'm going to say. I know exactly what I'm going to say to you. I know exactly what I'm going to say to Ava too, because it's not just about me and this card, or it's not just me and first place. It's the showing the thankfulness and the supportiveness that I've gotten from my family, so I can be there.
Wow, yeah.
And I don't talk about that enough, but it's been on my mind for a long time. It's
on tape now, eh? So
good.
Then it'll probably be launched around the time you're competing anyway.
That'd be great.
So I think it'll be around that time anyway, maybe a week or two before, possibly, but around that time. But I'm going to tell you a funny story. When she did the Arnolds, right? When she did the Arnolds, I was there. I wanted to compete that year. So I was turning 50. Remember, I was going to turn 50 and I thought I might compete. I'll do a cycle. But then I blew myself out. And also I didn't know you had to book in advance. I thought you could book a week before for a comp. Chris, I thought I could get in shape.
Yeah.
And then register online. I might do this show this weekend. Like, that's what I thought. Like, how stupid am I?
If you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know, but I actually thought, all right, this week
it's a can of worms. The whole like competing scenario. So,
because I did prep 12 weeks out, no coach again. And I did. I ripped up. Like I'm telling you, I looked amazing, man. And I think back then, the reason we know this stuff is like Terry never had a coach. No one had coaches. It was really people did it themselves.
It's very different back then to what it is now.
And we learned that ourselves, if that makes sense. And everyone did that themselves. But now it's very different.
I started coaching myself. I did my first show with a friend at my Hot Bods gym that was kind of like overlooked me and kind of just like, oh yeah, you know, this or that. Just gave me advice. And then I did my second comp enhanced, and then I did that all myself. And then slowly kind of got into like the coaching space of figuring out, okay, well, I went into it thinking, how can I be better? That's what I want. I want to fill the gaps I didn't have. And then it's a progression stone of, you know, you learn something from this coach, and then you move on, and you learn something from this coach, and then you end up kind of where you are now. It's just a process or evolution process of how much you can learn and knowing that you don't know everything. Because I don't know everything. Yeah. And as soon as you kind of say that, then you know you're stuffed, because there's always something to learn. So that was the process with it now. But yeah, I think everyone's in the coaching space now. It's I think it's very oversaturated. But you know, early 2000s, even before that, there wasn't really anyone. You had like you had your people that your close circle that you were honest with, and not a yes man. You were there to give actual feedback, compared to what it is now, like a full like hand holding experience now, which is kind of like I guess what you would call it. It's a lot of hand holding, and you know, it's almost like you're being a father to someone. It's very different, which I don't like. I don't like hand holding someone, or I don't like someone hand holding me through the process. I don't need you to do that. I need you to tell me exactly what to do, and I'll do it. I'm a robot. That's it.
I found when I had Sean Ray on Friday, he said, because he did it himself. Most of them did it themselves back then, right? But he also spoke about how many had coaches. Like he said, like Phil Heath had a coach.
Yeah, well,
even Ronnie Coleman had a coach.
It doesn't matter if
they all had coaches, but what he said, he did it himself. But he just said he was not. He did well, number 2 Olympian. But he said that he just couldn't have someone tell him what to do.
And that's exactly what I was about to say.
Did you find that hard sometimes at the beginning?
No, I want someone telling me exactly what to do.
Even at the beginning, when you signed a coach,
yep, I want you to tell me exactly what I'm doing to a T, right, as strictly as possible, as detailed as possible, and I will do everything.
Did anything surprise you? Like what you already knew, but what you didn't know? Did you go, oh wow, I didn't know that? Did anything surprise you?
Yes, but I don't know what. It was,
okay.
You know, but
so in other words, when you were being told, even though you maybe have known it, there was something that was trusting that you. Great, thanks for telling me that. It maybe reassured you as well.
It's more like a reassurance thing too. Like and just like you said, like if my coach now, he'll tell me to do something, and like he's like, I'm the type of client, or he'll say jump and I say how high. Like I want to perfect every single thing, because if I know like I perform better doing that than I am doing it myself, or having someone say, oh yeah, just if you do it like this, I want it to be told exactly what to do. I want to be told exactly how to do it, and I will do that perfectly. And that's what I'm really good at. I'm really good at following instructions, because I know that it's going to get me to where I want, and I trust these people. So that's a big aspect of it too. I put like my life into their hands, and I trust them so much that I damn well expect a detailed everything, because I'm going to do it regardless. You know, there's not many people that, you know, in the off season that don't eat out or don't do this. I treat my off season like a prep. Yeah, I go out with my wife every now and then, and we'll go have fun, or we go get the ice cream, but like.
Where Mickey Mouse is.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I treat like a prep. I don't eat anything more. Don't eat anything less.
For Halloween.
But yeah, so and I think that's really important. It's just type of person you are will flow you in the right direction of what type, if you want to coach, or what type of coach too, because there's also different types of coaching and how you can be coached. You can't coach a non-coachable person too.
Yeah, no, I think Dean McKillop said, which he's posting some stuff that we did together, but he said that sometimes it's just how you communicate to people. It's not even telling them how to
Communication's
exercise.
huge.
It's communication. It's just everyone's different way you communicate to them.
Yep.
Just got to find the way you communicate with
Exactly.
that person. So I guess I think that's also what makes good coaches. But it is,
But I hate the yes man crowd. I really have. So I've been in those circles where, yeah, bro, you look really good. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I want to as much as it sucks that my wife is telling me, oh look, you look really good, but this and that. Yeah, it's a slap on the face. But I know it's true. That's what I need to do.
no. Look, I think when it comes to I think we all know our flaws, and if someone points it out, at least we can confirm it. But I promise you, I'll tell you when you look disgusting, mate. Either beautiful or disgusting.
Please do, please.
Right.
I want to be the most disgusting.
Well, I said you want to be the most disgusting of you
Please do.
because you want to be savage. But
right.
talking about savage in what a shocking week. Prime example of Murphy's Law. I mean, Ava was severely sick, and then you ended up with 2 infections. You were hospitalised, man. Mm-hmm. And then Alicia, she was holding up the ship, steering it, and then she got sick too. What happened? When was that? That was not so long ago.
That was like maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So
yeah. How did you?
So Ava started getting sick from school, and then
Did she start daycare?
Yeah, so she's been at daycare for a while now. But if there's someone at school that's sick, it's bound that and she's
comes
gonna
home.
But it's actually the worst that she's been sick ever. So it was extremely bad, and it lasted like 2 weeks. It was extremely bad, just constant throwing up, like just really bad.
Yeah, scary.
And then I got some infections, and I kept on saying, me being mean, no, it's okay. I'll wake up tomorrow and be better. And then it just got worse and worse, and then I ended up just having to go to the hospital. And then Alicia ended up getting what Ava had, which was influenza A and B, whatever it was, and then she was horrifically bad. So it was about like a month of timeline where it was like pretty shocking. But we got through it, and that's it.
Oh yeah. It happens in threes. Murphy's Law, yeah.
Exactly, and everything happens. As long as we're healthy and whatnot, then and that's all okay.
No. I just like I said, I'm just wondering, is it hard to bounce back? Does it play with your mind? Does it play mind games? That's what I was probably asking. Because you're probably reaching a point, you're feeling really good, and then you're smacked in the guts, and you're thinking, how does that help you?
So I woke up. I didn't miss any cardio. Didn't miss anything. Got up on the Friday morning, did my cardio. Was dripping in sweat, which I don't usually in an air conditioned space. I was like, all right, I need to go to the hospital. This is dragging on too long. Packed all my stuff. Got to the hospital and said, look, can you fix me? Blah blah blah. I'm leaving by 12. And they're like, and I said no. They're like, sorry, I need to go train. I'll be out. I need to be out by 12. And they kept their promise. Had all the shots, and then I walked home. And then off I went. I was good to go. And then I continued. I had the best session a few hours.
Jeez, you made it sound like a workshop. That's funny.
It was.
I love that. Excuse me, I'm going to drop off the car. I'm picking it up at 12 bucks.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I mean, I said to them, they're like, look, you probably shouldn't be training. And I said, look,
that's true.
I appreciate it, but I just want to get out of here as fast as I can so I can go eat my food and go train.
No, you want, Jerome,
you got to do it.
Very unique, man. You're very unique. I'm looking at your earrings too, and
your
nerdy ways and your intelligent ways. He's not your average guy.
No.
12 weeks out, 2023 versus 12 weeks out, 2025, 120.1 kilos, and then you've gone to 125.5 kilos. Bigger, faster, stronger, leaner. Same human, different mindset, and monster up in there this time. And will continue to evolve. Yeah, I looked at your 2023, you look very different. What were the changes there? What did you find then and now?
Just better at everything.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
I apologize if I'm making it sound naive, but I'm making it more for the listeners. I'm acting like I'm a listener.
I truly believe to make progress, you can't just make progress in one day, and you can't just make progress of one thing, but you can make progress of doing one thing perfectly over and over again. And I truly, I've got something on my knee. It's a relentless pursuit. Yeah. And what that means is ticking every single box to the best of your ability, ideally 100% or more, for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, for 2 years, and that's that's basically what that shows.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what I thrive off. Like, that's what I thrive everything off.
Yeah, it is chipping away. I mean, I have hindsight, and at my age, you develop wisdom, right? But I'm not saying, like, I have every right to have this podcast and be in love with bodybuilding. It's got nothing to do with stage or anything, because they're just destinations. The journey is bodybuilding.
Journey. I love the journey.
The journey is amazing. I love the journey too. But when you realise how some people get stuck in the destination and then they never go back to the journey, and then you see them, like, you think, were you competing back in the day, or did you train? You can't
get to a destination without the journey.
Yeah, and so the thing is, it's the journey of the long game, and it's such a long game.
It is.
It's the longest of games, and not to say,
but it goes so quick.
It goes so quick, but you guys are a little bit different. I think, like you said, this generation, or the younger generation, they're impatient. What I mean is, you can gear up as much as you want. You can do whatever you want right now. Let me see you in 10 years. Because in 10 years...
Sadly, yeah.
Sadly, in 10 years, you're going... You may have spent all that money for nothing. You may have done... But the fundamentals is that it becomes just like having a shower. And it is for me. Like, today's rest day. Tomorrow, I know what I'm doing. And I change my routine. I've never done 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, one... Never. So it used to be... Well, at the beginning, it was 7 days straight when we first started, right? And then it was 6 days. And then it was 5 days.
Yep.
And then never train on the weekends.
Yep.
Right? And then it was 4 days on, 1 day off. And then it was 3 days on, 1 day off. And then I said recently, I'm going to try this 2 days on, 1 day off, because I really want to give my quads a rest before I hit the hammies. And I really want to give my back or my chest a rest before I hit my back. So it's kind of like moving things around.
Yep.
But what I'm getting is, and I've seen just amazing things happening. And then obviously changing food. And I never had scales. So I have scales now. You know what I mean? Like, I never have all these things.
That's right, yeah.
So, and even when we ate, it was different. We didn't calorie count. We just looked at the packet, how much fat and protein and carbs it had. And what are the carbs? You know what I mean? All that stuff.
So like that in itself was ingrained into me when I was diagnosed with diabetes, because I had to be immensely accurate with what I was eating regardless. So at 9 years old, I was weighing everything.
Oh, there you go.
So it was like, it wasn't even like I was doing anything different when I turned into bodybuilding, because I was already doing that I started training when I was like 19, 20, 21. I already had it for 10 years. So there was no change.
And what I'm saying, all this that's happening now, like, for me, there's no change. Like, what I mean is, I do know it's not so much metabolism changes. I think patience change. So for me, I've realised it's just my eyes are bigger than my stomach, and there's too many delicacies. And I've got exposure to anything I want at any time I want, and I need to discipline that in.
I understand that.
Yeah. And then I said, and some of the simple fundamentals that I'm just not doing, which is going for a walk, just because that will get me not only my brain fog cleared, but also I get my cardio in, which back then in bodybuilding, if you ate too many calories, you went and did treadmill a little bit longer, or you went for a walk. What I'm saying is, you didn't have to miss the mark all the time or be perfect. We found other ways to throw, like, cardio was a way of fat burning. Now they talk, you don't need to do any cardio, you lose weight. But we're talking about fat. You're just going to lose fat. But we're talking about, we're trying to hold on to muscle, and we're trying to eat, but we realize we've overshot the calories. So we'll go, look, let's go for a little bit longer walk today. So it was a bit more about, cardio was very important. And I think it still is. But what I'm saying is that I used to read the packet all the time. Back then when I was married, she's going, like, we take forever in this shopping mall. I said, I just sat there, tuna. Wait a minute, let me see tuna with brine. Let me see tuna with olive oil. Let me see tuna with spring water.
That's what I do now.
Spring water. I look at them all. Wait a minute, let me see what this cheap, no-name tuna is different to this expensive one. I go,
screw the expensive one.
It's the same bloody fish. And then you look at, and then you go, let me look at this meat. And then you look at the sausages, you go, the sausages are better.
I do the exact same.
So what I'm getting is, but nobody, like, even my kids would go, like, oh, man, can you just hurry up?
Yeah.
But like I said, I did that, and now I still do it today. And I think that's the journey of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
If you can get the journey of that stuff going on, everything else is a destination. Like I said, competing. Yeah, all that is, destinations. veer off, but that's why I love bodybuilding. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think, personally, I'm just saying to you, I think I can do an even better physique.
Absolutely.
I believe I can blow out 20. Meaning
Absolutely.
my 20-year-olds, my 20-year-old physique.
For sure.
For education.
There's no reason why not.
There's no reason. And because that mindset is that way, I don't think to myself, I'm done and dusted. I'm like, no.
And that's half the battle.
That is half the battle. It is half the battle. It is half the battle. Let's have, now we've talked about the Disney on Ice and wearing the Disney cap and your Halloween, so we won't go into that. So yeah, I saw the Arnolds, so I would have seen Alicia up there, right?
There you go.
So I would have seen her up there. Because I went, because I was geared up, ripped, but I wanted to see a bodybuilding show. And I just chose, I never went to a bodybuilding, except for the Terry Mitsos days.
Okay.
And I actually saw Dorian Yates in real life. I think I told you that.
Yeah, we're talking
right?
about you, yeah.
So I'm saying is, and that's, you know, and I think Terry was there, and a lot of people were there, and it was pretty much run by Paul Graham, which was City Gym.
Yep.
They used to bring everyone over. And City Gym was an amazing place, man. You went to City Gym, you got big just going in there.
Yeah.
it was just like that. It was just, this place was just the biggest of the bigs. Everyone was big. City Gym was...
There's more and more of these places like around Sydney now, like a Metroflex being one, you know, it's quite big. But I feel like in Sydney or New South Wales, compared to other states, like Melbourne is the hub for bodybuilding. Like there's so many good gyms out there that are just crazy with like equipment and whatnot. And then you look at America and you're like, fuck, like only if.
Yeah. No. Look, it is. You know, City Gym still has that vibe.
It does.
I tell you, I was there. I was at City Gym with Chris. Not we went to City Gym. We were at the cafe down the road. And I'm telling you, the boys that come out of there, and even back then in the 90s, they had beautiful physiques.
Yeah,
because they're obviously, I'm not saying everyone's gay and whatever they are, I've got no problem with it. But even back then, the way they used to design their bodies and the way they used to train. Ian Roberts, the rugby league player, he trains there. Like I said, if you see their physiques, they're huge. Some of these boys can compete.
Yeah, I know.
And they don't.
I know.
But some of these boys, they've got big legs. They love a great booty. But what I'm saying is, there's a part of what they love about the body and what they do in there. It's very different to, say, like Metroflex, I'm trying to say to you, where there's so many good bodies.
Yeah, right.
And it's not built on going on stage.
Yeah,
it's just built on... They're probably hitting the gear too. I'm not trying to say they don't.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say to you is, but it's a different...
different
without being
environment.
rude, I'm saying I have vanity. I've got a lot of it. They have a little bit more vanity in that place as well, which is great because I have vanity, because I do it because I want to look good. Maybe my head's not the best, but my body, I'll try. If I can bring that along, I'll do whatever. But yeah, they do an amazing job.
They do.
You've trained at City Gym?
No, I haven't trained there. I've been there a handful of times. It's an interesting place, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, you should have a workout. Maybe I'll introduce you to the owner.
that'd be
his
good.
name is, what's the owner of that?
Didn't I?
Nick, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I've asked him to come on the podcast. He said no too. They all say no. But you know what's funny?
What?
They all start saying now, hello, can I come on? Now they are. Ain't that right, Chris? Have a look at the messages. Now I'm going to tell you something even funnier.
All right.
No. And it's funny, I won't mention the name. Well, but I'm going to mention the name. But you were at the Nationals in Brisbane. And
2023. Yep.
I was there.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I was there. And I was at the Sydney show that you also...
Oh.
So I was there. Obviously, I did not know you.
Yes.
And I know I was there because I know Mike Calusi got the Pro Card.
Yes. Well, I came second against him.
Yes, but I was there.
Oh, yeah. Small.
I was in the crowd watching you.
Yeah.
And there you are. Oh, I didn't know it was you. I didn't even know you. I don't know you. And I also know, Emad won Classic Pro Card.
Yep.
Monica Genra, she won Wellness. So what I mean is, I was there. And the funny thing is, they've all been on my podcast now. And I go,
cool.
I was fucking there watching you guys, which is hilarious.
That's a cool story, yeah.
Isn't it funny how the world works?
It always.
I flew up to see that comp.
There you go.
I'm not even, like I said, I'm not even a bodybuilder. I don't go on stage. I'm a nobody. I didn't even have a podcast, brother.
Are you going to be at the Sydney show and the?
Yeah. I want to come. We're going to go. I'm going to come to the Sydney show.
Okay.
I will come along to the Sydney show because you're there and a few others. And but even last year's Sydney show, I don't know any of you people. Like I'm just saying, like I'm still getting to know the industry.
Sure. It's big.
Like it is. It's big, but I'm a fan. Like I'm a, I don't know, fanboy you call it, whatever. I'm a fan, but like I said, never been to a bodybuilding show except for back in the past. So I said, I'll go to the Arnold's. I got a ticket. I sat down, and obviously Alicia's up there, you're saying. And then obviously after COVID, I came to the Sydney show, and I didn't even know the Terminator. You know, the Black Terminator, what's his name?
I know. Yeah.
What's his...
Patrick.
Yeah,
there you go. Thank you. That's why I got Chris here. Patrick, and we're mates too now. We're not close mates, but he's been on here. He's been on twice, actually. But, yeah, it's just been amazing how, I just rock up. But it's just funny how it's navigated us to have a podcast. And then I have Sean Ray on Friday.
Yeah, there you go. Everything comes for a reason.
Man.
Everything comes for a reason, right?
Yeah, and there you are. You got you got second place.
Yep.
And there you are. Obviously, this is where I said to you, you got Alicia and Ava there, and you're getting a lot of kisses while you're holding your second prize.
That's good.
How was that experience, especially going up? Was that because I'm going to talk about NABA, but how was that your first time in IFBB?
No, so I competed IFBB in New Zealand in 2019 or 2018. I did junior bodybuilding and classic, and then open bodybuilding. Then,
but in Sydney,
that was my first time in open bodybuilding. Yeah, I did classic before.
Because you won novice.
Yes,
Nationals weren't novice.
I did novice, then came second to supers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I want to get the trophies right or the medals right. Yeah. How was that experience? How was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Like I went out there with like no really expectations, just kind of wanting just to kind of get my feet wet, just because I haven't stood next to open supers before.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least not in IFBB. Other federations I have. So yeah, that was kind of just what I wanted to do, and I felt like I did a pretty good job. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, you did amazing, man. Honestly, but like I said, I was there. I was just hilarious. It was an okay time. So Naba, I believe, captioned the king. And the post prior envisages the goal, and it all comes together. What does that mean?
I don't even remember, to be honest. It was that long ago.
Yeah, it is.
Probably when I did
the king,
like the
NABA 2021. I know it is a long time ago. I apologise. That's all right. You don't have to.
Yeah, I honestly can't even remember, to be honest. It was that long ago.
Well, then maybe this one, because you just said the king, right? It was a NABA show, right? So we know you did NABA, right? Did you? Let's ask this question: have you done any other comps besides NABA?
I've done an ABF show. That's a quite new one back in 2021. I've done a INBA show as my first show. I've done New Zealand, IFBB a couple of times. So yeah, federations.
Yeah, okay. And obviously, in NABA show, you compared 24 months apart, and there you are, and you said you added 17 kilos. You went from 97 kilos to 114, and you didn't have the beard, and you didn't shave your head. It's very different, man.
Again, it was so long ago.
I
know. I think 20.
Like now, you look like you're
2019. I showed
you
my
run a
head.
bikie club, and that picture there shows you're not really ready. You're not running. You're ready for IT.
Well, I used to ride a motorbike, but I would never ride one again. But yeah.
What did you ride?
Yamaha MT-07.
Okay, so what was the change in that? Because you were showing that guy off. He's there smiling away, posing, and then you're 17 kilos bigger.
What's the question? Sorry.
The question is, how like 17 kilos added to stage weight. That's a lot, isn't it? 17 kilos?
Yeah. So look, but there's also a few years between, and just taking things more. So it's just about each year. I'm big on analyzing myself. So each year or each week, each month, whatever it is, analyzing yourself and just be honest with yourself and be like, what did I do good and what did I do bad at? And then improving those things that you can improve on, and then implementing that, actioning it. And then just, like I said, keep doing that year after year, day after day, a week after week, month after month. And then you'll get to where you want to be eventually. Some people might get there sooner, some people might get there later, but you will.
Was it always open bodybuilding?
So I started off with classic physique just because that was the cool thing to do at the time. Like when it very first came out, like 2016, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then quickly realized that body just wanted to grow and kind of outgrew that pretty quick, and then just moved slowly into open bodybuilding.
But the bloody classic guys look pretty big at the moment.
They do. They do.
They look much bigger than what I remember.
Yeah, I know.
They've grown from 2022, let me tell you.
Yeah, that too.
But there's some big boys. I think everyone's trying to go into classic to take it out. You know what I mean? Just to take it out. I don't know.
Who knows?
We could break a lot of conspiracies, me and you.
Yeah.
When did bodybuilding capture your attention? When did you start bodybuilding? When did you touch weights?
I first touched weights when I was maybe like 16,
Yeah.
17. Then didn't really take it too far. Just a bit of fun after school. Halfway through uni, started training pretty seriously. When I mean seriously, it's only relative at that point in time. So I wouldn't classify it serious now, but back then it was very serious.
Yeah.
And then it was just what I was saying about is like the self-analyzing and just getting better and better each year. But yeah, probably around 2017 is when I kind of first started, having a split, eating my meals, going to train, having rest, just trying to do everything properly without. I didn't even know that there was a coach was a thing back. So I was just kind of
Or
absorbing.
competing? You weren't thinking about competing then when you first started?
No.
That's what I thought I'd ask.
And then probably maybe like.
And was there an inspiration? Like, was it Arnold? Was it a bodybuilder you saw? What made you train? Was it you wanted to be more masculine? You felt like, what was it that got you there? Me, I just
like the feeling.
I just wanted muscles.
Yeah, I think everyone wants that, but I think for me it was just I just liked training, and I still do like now. Like I just love training.
Love training. Yeah,
just love it.
See, that's bodybuilding.
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Love training. So Southern Shire boy.
Yep.
Okay. Small family.
Small family.
Mum, nan.
Yep.
Grandma, granddad, uncle, brother, and sister. Don't say anything about dad there. I don't know. I don't want to. We should touch that subject, but get the tissue boxes ready, Chris. No, where's dad?
Don't know.
Okay, don't know. And you briefly lived in the Southern Highlands.
Yep.
Yeah, when you were young.
Yeah, when I was young.
Yeah, tell us about growing up. Those people.
Yeah,
Shire.
It was cool. The Southern Highlands was nice. Don't really remember too much of it, but I've always been kind of like a shy boy. Always kind of lived in the Shire.
Shire's its own place, man.
Always call that place home, but just so damn expensive. God damn.
I remember we used to go there to Gudamata Bay. You know Gudamata Bay?
Yeah.
We're wogs, and we liked barbecuing because we don't want sand, we want grass.
Yeah.
And that was the closest on the Sutherland Shire side that you could have grass really close to the beach.
That's true.
And we want grass,
agree.
we don't want sand.
Yep.
Why we want grass is because we want to put down our picnic blankets,
Yep.
and then we want to put our barbies out,
Yeah.
and we want to take up at least
Half
the park, right? If you're watching what's going on now with the shishas and all that, I just laugh at that. I don't even argue with them. Not that I want to argue with them. I'm thinking like, if we got away with it, they're allowed to get away with it too.
Sure.
But and we used to, and we went. I won't say rain, hail, or shine, but we'd go even if it's sprinkling, and we'd go on our own, and before you know it, there was like 10 families. And not only that, I'll tell you something funny. I once went to Gudamata Bay with my kids.
Yeah.
It was Ruby and Yanni, and we sat down, put the blanket on because I wanted to show them Gudamata Bay, and there's all the starfish around there and all that walk. It's a really cool place. And then you can do bombs. You do the bombs off there. It was all about bombs, right? And I remember putting the blanket down, and then I can say it because we own it. Then there was this Wog family, like just a little bit there. And he's, I don't know what he was, what nationality he was. Maybe he was Greek. I don't know. And he goes, because I'm Greek my background's Greek. And he goes, do you want some grapes? And I knew, I go, that's exactly what happens. They just feed everyone. And he goes, come here. He goes, maybe your kids want to eat this. They're cooking, he's got their kids, his grandchildren, whatever. And that's what it was like.
Yeah, right.
We just sat together, we ate like, man, protein.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We call them souvlaki, but shish kebabs, right?
Yeah.
Just non-stop. Big salads. It was,
I don't
know how my parents did it, man. And we drove from Belmore.
Belmore just to kind of
to Gudamata Bay. That's where we went because we wanted grass.
Well, when you think about it,
Dolls Point does it a bit too, and Sans Souci around there it is. Yeah. But that was Gudamata Bay. And why they wanted Gudamata Bay too, it was even more closed up. Europeans don't know what surf is. We'll drown. Like the Indians.
Good point.
No, because the Mediterranean, there's no surf. Right? So there's no surf. They don't want surf. That's why Gudamata Bay and Bridle Sands. That's why you see all us wogs are there.
All makes sense now.
We don't want sand. And we don't want surf.
I hate sand too.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. So and I never knew what Cronulla Beach was like.
Yeah, there you go.
So it was Yeah, it was quite fun. You played. Wait a minute. What kind of a student you were? Because you told me you were into tech. You're building computers. What's this water cooling?
Yeah, so
Mods and stuff like that, Chris. And were you nerdy, academic? What were you
I
like?
was pretty nerdy, pretty academic. Always into like IT and things. So what I meant by like water cooling is like I always built like my own computers, always played computer games, things like that. Just doing just mods to computers. That was kind of like my thing back in the day. Still, like I still like to read up on it, but it's just not there anymore. Plus, I don't have time or space. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I mean, yeah. And then 12 to 18, you played soccer and cricket. Were you good?
Not very.
No.
I don't think so.
Which one out of the two, soccer or cricket?
I used to love cricket, surprisingly. Yeah.
What were you batter? What kind of batter were you?
No, I couldn't bat. I was a fast bowler.
Were you a fast bowler?
Fast bowler, yeah.
Did you play cricket? Yeah, he's Macedonian.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what cricket is.
No, what cricket is. He's only been for 5 years. He's probably just discovered cricket.
Yeah, exactly. You watch it be playing on the weekend,
That's
yeah?
true.
I think I played cricket, and I think I was number 5 batsman, around about 4 or 5 batsman.
Yeah,
Wasn't the worst.
I was more down towards the 8, 9, 10.
But how nervous do you get when we were
very,
kids? It was
yeah,
very
very,
nervous,
very.
man. And I wasn't a very good. I mean, I didn't bowl, but I was about 4 or 5. I think I was a 5 batsman.
Okay.
I think my best score is 30, 25, 30.
It's up at the line.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny to even say that? To get to 25 is a big feat, man.
It is.
You know, so... And soccer, I did play soccer. I was...
I feel like everyone has to play soccer at some stage of their life.
Yeah, soccer's all right, man. It's a world sport, man.
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
It's a world sport. Because you're of your IT interests, you brought it into the world of computer science and coding. And you started a uni degree in software engineering, but obviously moved back into IT e-business. And you went to University of Wollongong and graduated in 2016, yeah?
Yep.
So what are you in the IT world? And I'll tell you my story about how I got into computing, but I want to hear yours.
So I am a service manager for Westpac at the moment.
What does that do? What does that mean?
Basically, I look after the systems, applications that support the assets and licenses for Westpac. So making sure the infrastructure is basically up and running, that the app is available so the customers within Westpac can use it and track licenses, assets, things like that. So it's quite big.
You have a team?
No, yes. So I don't manage a team. My title is just a service manager. But there's a team of 4 or 5 of us.
What's it like? What are they like? What are they like, the guys in there? Because I'll tell
It's
you
good.
what. Yeah.
It's good. It's I don't.
You can say anything you want. I don't want to watch this.
I don't look like I work in IT. I don't fit into the crowd by
You don't. But you're in IT.
appearance. Yes.
But you fit it. Yeah, either did I. I'm just letting you know I didn't fit into it.
Yeah, but it's look like the corporate life is really good.
It is good, man.
I really do. Some days I don't appreciate it as much than others, and then I'm like, look, it actually is really good for like what I do, like working from home, especially after COVID. You know, all these things. It does help.
I miss it somewhat, to be honest. I'll be honest. I miss the air-conditioned toilets and the little. I mean, not anymore, but
Were you in the city?
yeah, I worked for HSBC.
Okay, yeah.
And the funny thing is, I didn't go to uni. I didn't go to uni, man.
Wow.
I started from the Mara room.
Oh, no way.
I was in the Mara room and I said, I'm a fucking dumb cunt. What am I doing here?
always
I
work
shouldn't have
it
said that word, but sorry. But I felt so dumb. Because I got a job in CBA, Commonwealth Bank.
Okay.
But it said EDP department. And I go, what's the EDP department? They said Electronic Data Processing Department. That's what IT was called then. I went, what does that do? And they go, computing. I went, I'm going to work for a computing department. This is unreal. And when I rocked up there, they said, all right, little wog boy, you're in the mail room.
How very different that is.
And because my dad thought I made it because I was wearing a tie and I had a briefcase. But inside that briefcase, all I had was a salami sandwich. So I rock up in my briefcase, and the combination lock. And I did it because I like Fords. I went 302 and 351 because those are motors, right? So I rock up and then I go to, and then and I'll be honest, and it's 2 things, very significant moments. And Sean Ray said, no, Brett Contreras said the same thing. When he did his first day at work, He said, I should never fucking work for anyone. He doesn't want to work. And he doesn't. When I went to work for the first day and the next day I got up and I put my legs on the side of the bed, I said, is this it? I said, I don't want to work. Now, this wasn't that I didn't want to work and be lazy and a bludger, because I did, but I said, I don't want to work. This is crazy. Is this what it is?
So it's funny because I was the complete opposite. I think just because how I'm built, like I like building things, and with coding and problem solving, there's always there's like a bigger picture and you're trying to solve it. And I like working towards that, whether it's code or, some other thing that there's a problem there that you're trying to resolve. And that's what I kind of like.
No, but what I mean is I was in the mail room, remember that? I was just putting mail in that, right? So, but when I sat on the side, I said, wow, we've got to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, because it was 9 to 5, and we finish at 5 o'clock, and this is it. I said, like, I was just 18, man.
Okay.
I was just 18. I went, 9 o'clock, finish 5 o'clock, Monday to Friday. I go, this is a rot. Now, I'm naive, don't forget that. Yeah. So anyway, when I started in the mail room, the first thing I thought about straight away, besides that,
lunch.
No, I said to the supervisor, manager, I go, how long do people last here? I mean, how long before they move them? And he goes, in 6 months. I said, in my head, I'm doing it in half. Even when I had a motorbike accident and I dislocated my whole leg out of my hip, and I had to be in hospital for 4 weeks. I was in hospital on traction. The nurse said, you're going to be here for 6 weeks. I go, what's the quickest I can get out of you? They said, maybe 4. I go, I'll go with 4. And I was out in 4. So my mindset is always that, like, what do I do? Now, some girl got me an interview with HSBC to be a computer operator. I got no IT skills, got nothing. But I said, tell me about the guy that's the manager. He goes, well, his name's Jim Demarakis. I don't know him, Greek guy. What's he into? He's into shares, he's into this, he's into that. So I started writing things down. So I learned how to be a smooth talker. And then I went upstairs I went up to the IT department. I went up to the IT department, and there was some girl there. I said, what are these systems? So I started writing down. And what do you do every day? I started writing that down. And so then I went, this is the funniest thing is, I went for the interview. No, the girl said, there's no more trainee positions. So I don't think he needs to see you. I said, just get me in. That's how it was back then, right? Wasn't this over the internet and book in and do something, AI interviews and all that? So I rock up and he goes, no joke, in the interview, I was that good. He goes, look, you don't need a trainee job. We're going to make you an experienced operator.
There you go.
And I said to him, no. That's what I said. I said, no, go. Because he filled it was 4 positions as trainees. I said, I'll tell you what we do. Make it there a 5th one. Let me touch your little site and I'll be the experienced operator you need, but I just need to be exposed to it. And this is what I said, I don't want to offend anyone or intimidate them. Right? And he goes, all right, you can be the 5th trainee. Yes. I got the job, and by the end of the year, I had my own shift. I had my own operators, and I even wrote all the schedules and did all time management. Any posted note, I turned it into a spreadsheet. Anything that was written, anything that was scribbled, anything that was I just turned it into spreadsheets and schedules, right? And then I said, after 5 years, I said, I want to become an engineer. And they weren't going to allow me. So I went and saw upper management. So I went beyond 2 managements, right? Yeah, and I walked in and I said, and this guy was not only in charge of IT, he was also in charge of the accountants. He was in charge, he had a lot of people under him, right?
Yeah.
I think his name was Gary. I said, no appointment. Gary, can I go see you for a second? And this is me like at 25, 25 years old. Good, and I walk in and I said, I want to be an engineer. He goes, what makes you think you can become an engineer here? He goes, and he even said, we gave it a go with someone else and it never worked. I said, well, it's time to make it work.
I like it.
And I got it.
I like that.
And then I became an engineer. And the funny thing is, I was with a South African guy. I was just a mix, right? Yeah. But if I said to you, HSBC was a party place, man. That was when I discovered alcohol and Friday night drinks are not coming back.
I feel like because in the city, if it's a city-based location, too, it's more like that, for sure. Yeah,
like we're talking about, Chris, we go Fridays, go to lunch, and then we don't come back. And we do come back and we're working pissed. Yeah. Like, what's the problem? Yeah. Oh, the stock market exchange connection is down. Like, oh my God, let's try to fix that. And sit there and try to fix it, right?
Yeah.
And then we'd go corporate soccer. We do go do corporate soccer. Yeah. And then, no joke, we'd finish corporate soccer during the day and then there'd just be beers opening up. Yeah. And honestly, that's the most beer I ever drank.
But And that is corporate life.
It was corporate life.
And that's corporate life.
Christmas parties were crazy.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm going to say to you. From the moment I got into IT, I'm going to listen back to myself. I'm going to say, shut up, Steve, you talk too much. But I hope you're enjoying the story. When I got into HSBC as an operator and doing shift work, so I did night shift and all that, that's when I looked my best because I wasn't involved with drinks and parties and going out because I was a shift worker.
More structure.
And it let me train at different hours of the day. And I had 3 weeks on, 1 week off shift. And because I had to do I had to prepare my meals to eat at night. So I used to go to Christmas parties. I didn't drink at the Christmas party. I didn't have desserts at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
And it was my most discipline. Like I said, that really cemented me in the corporate job as well. But once I got into network engineering, that was it went a bit downhill, at that point.
If we go back to what you're saying about what you said about what was it? The person who stays here is like 6 months, but then I'll do it 3, whatever. I'm quite similar in terms of that. So with so when you said you had your motorbike accident, so I had a seizure right before my daughter was born, and I dislocated both shoulders, and then
I'm so sorry.
I had a crushed the shoulder ball. I was shaking that violently that I crushed the shoulder ball on this side of shoulder reconstruction. And the doctor said, look, you'll be out of it for 12 months. There'll be no touching. And I said, Doc, I'll be doing it in 10. And I came back in 10 weeks and he said, I've never seen anything like it, but off you go.
There's a mind over matter, but I can't admit that I own, we got to hear it from somewhere, but my cousin got meningitis once. He was young and he said to me when he was there really bad, and I didn't know it was that bad. He could have died. Whatever he got something. It's bad. And he just said, the only person that can get me out of this is me. Sure. And the only person that can, and when they said, and he said when they told him 8 weeks, he goes, I'll do it in 4. And I just heard him say that. It was just on the fly, on the pass. So I kind of,
that's how
it's kind of like how we learn it. But not many people are listening to this. But that's what it's mind over matter,
sure.
And you can do it. You were into music.
Yep.
Correct? Your mum, especially.
Yep.
Her world was music, worked with it. And did you play the piano and the saxophone?
Yep.
We always thought that the saxophone would woo the women in, Kenny Rogers, whatever.
That sounds
Kenny
really
Robbins.
Yeah, so I think I got up to the highest level at the conservatorium with that. And did that for a couple of years. It was just ingrained in me, I could pick it up and just play so easily.
Can you do it now?
I haven't touched it in 25 years.
You know what, Chris? He's not giving away the secret. Alicia, what he does in the mornings, goes out and just plays the saxophone.
I'm sure she would love it if I picked it.
And he's like, of course it does. And that's what happens. So he doesn't tell us the secrets, but now we know it's a saxophone. So you can't play it anymore? What about piano?
No, I haven't touched it in that.
Do you think you'll ever touch it again?
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, you're the type that if you decide to, you will.
That's all right.
You know what I mean? I can tell that very much so.
Yeah.
I'm just reading here. Obviously, you've much family, teach them new things. You're super proud of them. I think... I don't know that question. We're going to move on from that question because I'm trying to read it. I think we've already answered about family. One of your goals outside of fitness is to become a property investor.
Yep. Right.
Own multiple properties, houses, investments, with one being a dream home for your daughter, Ama. The whole white picket fence, dog, green grass kind of deal. How are we going with that?
Slowly, and it's not going to happen overnight, especially with this market. How expensive things are, but slow and steadily.
Yeah. Why property investor?
I don't know. It's just something that I feel like is just.
Do you like it? Do you know you like it?
I don't really like it. Okay. Well, I just think it's one of the best things to invest in. I think you just can't go wrong.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. I think my biggest portfolio is 8 properties.
It's crazy.
That was my biggest portfolio. Even a house in New Zealand, Christchurch. Yeah. Studios, Potts Point. I mean, I'm going to brag now.
There you go.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
But I love property. That's the difference. See, you got to love it.
Yeah, see, that's the
That's
thing.
what I'm trying to say to you. I love bodybuilding. I tell people I don't do like. I only do love. Even when I wear clothing, everything I do, I don't fucking do like. I can't do like. Fuck like. I love.
I think it's just because it's just I feel like
I loved IT. I love computing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's just because it's a safer option. But look, I'm still very early days. I really don't know much, and I'm always open to learning and new things, new things to invest in, new things to look at. I'm always trying to learn. So whatever. And I'm someone that I don't like to have a plan. I like to have like an approximate plan of where I want to be, like the area or like the road I want to go down. But like I'm totally fine with. If I have my mind set somewhere down here and then an opportunity comes up, I'm totally fine to revert and go back to the I'm so fine with that.
Well, the thing is, I think the only not that you've asked for advice on, even I, it's very hard to repeat things. Very hard to go back. Like it's like going and playing the saxophone or the piano. Just because you did it well then, it's because you practiced it, you played it, you invested in it. So it's like everything. Like I don't even know if I can go back to New Zealand and buy property just because I did it. Doesn't mean I can go do it again. You know, that's being serious. It was frame of mind.
Well, that's right.
I was stealth. I was locked in.
That's right.
So it was, but the thing I'll say to you is you got to listen. You got to ask questions. If you don't ask the questions, you're not going to. When I say you're not going to invest, what I'm saying, I'm an inquisitive guy. Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? And some people will say, "Oh, fuck off," but to be honest,
but there's no
when they say "fuck off," it's because they're
they probably don't know.
not only that. No, they think they can own the world. Yeah. Well, you can't. You try to own all the properties of the world. You can't. So what I mean is when someone says to me, like Christchurch, someone was auditing my business. I had a juice bar. I had a juice bar in the city. That's what happened. I left IT and I got a juice bar. It was like Boost Juice. It was my own though. I built it, right? Cool. Had uniforms, had everything, right? I treated it like it was IT, like corporate. And there was this lady, I'm just taking the time for you. And then this lady came to audit my business, and I said to her, "What makes you audit my business?" Because I just wanted to know her credentials. And she goes, "I had a business." And I said, "That's had. What did you have?" She told me she had a baking kind of business. And I said, "And what do you do now? Because it looks like you got a job." She goes, "Oh no." She goes, I'm a property investor, positive." And I said, "Oh, okay. What kind of property investor are you?" That's a conversation. And she goes, "Oh, I buy positively geared properties." I said, "Where can you find positively geared properties in Sydney?" She goes, "Not Sydney." I said, "Where?" She goes, "Christchurch." She goes, "New Zealand, Christchurch." Now I'm telling you, there's no computers, there's no Google, there's nothing, there's nothing. Facebook. This is 2003. So I go, "Oh." She gave me an example. So I went, opened up the white pages, and I looked up and I found, and I go, "Where's Ray White? Ray White in Christchurch?" While everyone's serving smoothies and doing something, I go, "Hello, I'm looking for a positive gear property." And the guy goes, "Not this area, mate." I said, "What area do you think?" He goes, "Anything near the city, but also Brighton." I said, "Brighton? What's Brighton?" He goes, "There's a south, north, and New Brighton." I went, "Okay." And there was emails, and then before you know it, Virgin was flying. I jumped on a plane. I went there for 8 days, and I walked away with the property, and I hadn't even organised loans yet.
There you go.
And so,
might never matter.
So what I mean is, so my advice to you is, don't look in Sydney. If you think it's expensive, no, I'm just saying, no. You can live here, but you don't have to invest here.
Yeah,
that's what I just hear that word.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can have the best portfolio, and you can have
agree.
income coming in. You don't need to know about this area. But this area still has little pockets you could find. But if you want to be, what I'm saying is, this area, they've made it tough.
Yeah,
but if you start looking around, and I'll give you an example, when it came to Christchurch, when I was there, and I knew the Christchurch like the back of my hand. I had 2 agents walking me around. By the 3rd day, I said, "Don't call me, I'll call you," because then I worked it. I had my little Hyundai I hired. And I knew the area like there was no tomorrow, but they didn't rate the beach. Now, Brighton is the size of the Gold Coast, but no high rises. But there's a mall, and it reminded me of Cronulla. And I went, "Cronulla, mall, surf beach. It's got to be a good investment here."
Yeah.
And it was. That's what I'm saying to you. It was just like, so sometimes you need to go to another state, actually pay some money, even if you don't buy, just to go have a look at some properties. You've heard someone say there's some properties down there.
For sure.
So you say, you either take the girls with you or you just jump on a weekend and book some agents to take you for a walk around and act like you are the guy. Like, even if you're not, doesn't matter. They think you are.
And that's a big thing, for sure. And my wife always says that, you have to act like you know. Well, she always says, they don't know if you know this. It's how you represent yourself, or how you portray yourself. And like, I'm one that's always kind of nervous, and she always says that. So it's the same thing that goes with that too.
Look, you seem, like you said, maybe nervous, but you're honest. I was nervous, but I lied. But unfortunately, I don't lie now. I'm very honest, which I don't know if it works in my favour. But
you never know.
But what I'm saying is, but I'm going to try. Good. But the thing is, no, there's plenty. Look, whenever you want to talk about property,
I'll hit you up.
Hit me up, man. I'm happy to tell you everything, because I can't own it all. But I can tell you, and I can't go buy certain places right now. But I can tell you, South Australia. I can tell you, South Australia is where I'd probably be looking.
Okay, I'll have a look.
That's what I'm saying to you. Man.
Done. Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. And the other thing is, don't look at capital growth.
Okay.
Look at rental return.
Okay.
Because that's cash flow.
Yes.
Because when you're paying off a loan, you don't have money. You want the rent to pay your loan, and maybe give you $50. So if you're earning $2,000 a week, let's just say, and now you're earning $2,050, that's pretty good. And you just own an asset.
Yeah.
So then you go get another asset, and guess what? That asset pays off the loan, and guess what? It gives you $50. Now you're earning $2,100.
Yep.
See, this is the people don't want the $50. They want more. No, I'm happy. I'm happy if I break even.
Yeah.
If I don't have to pay the loan, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because 5 years later, loan goes down.
Yeah.
Rents go up. Last thing I'll tell you, on your investments, pay the loan off weekly or fortnightly, not monthly.
You can save.
Because it reduces it without you needing to give extra.
Yeah.
So I'm just, there you go. You got some property advice.
Thank you.
I hope this podcast was worth it.
Yeah.
You want to be, you also want to go into business. Come on, we're going to finish up soon, but we've got to finish off these nice little touches here. You want to go into business. You've got throwing some ideas around: a gym, a cafe, online shop, children clothing. When you have a child, you always think about children.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
I made underwear from China for kids.
That's what Alicia wants to do. Kind of just have like her own brand of clothing. She's very into like the fashion scene, so something that she
looks pretty cool.
Yeah, she is. So,
she skateboards with your daughter.
Yeah, she does. She's
I don't know. Well, they get on with a lot of fun, mate.
Yeah, I know. And he's been stuck at work.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're doing all right. Yeah. So you guys want to get into business, yeah?
Yeah. Well, we're not sure what or if it will ever happen. We're just open minded and see what happens really.
Anything tickles your fancy? Like you think I wouldn't mind having a gym?
Oh yeah, I'd love to have a gym. To have a gym, but I mean, like, look, it's who knows.
Stick with Manny. Maybe you can
exactly.
Metroflex.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
Manny's a very good businessman.
Yeah, he is.
It's good. He comes from business. That guy.
Yeah.
His business goes further than me. Like he's got his dad and family. Like I'd be asking his dad's questions.
Yeah.
Trust me, I would be. I go, excuse me.
Yeah.
Can I just talk to your dad for a second?
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah,
I would be.
Okay.
I would be. You want to be a good role model as well, huh?
Yep. Very wrong.
Yeah? Family and friends.
Yep.
Is that important to you?
Very.
Yeah? Why?
Like a lot of people look up to me. A lot of people look up to me. A lot of people respect me. A lot of people truly value what I have to say.
Yeah.
So I want to try and I want to give back and be able to be someone that they can rely on too.
Why do you think that? Just wondering. I know it's a silly question, but I don't know if many rely on me. That's what I'm saying to you. It's not that I'm worried or upset about that.
When relying in
they rely on you.
Sense in terms of like my family versus like friends. My friends rely on me for my honest value, opinion, and I'm always honest. My family, rely on me for a whole lot of other reasons, and being honest and all that stuff too. So it just depends on what type of group it is.
But being a good role model is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. No, I'm just thinking about it too when you just said that. A lot of people come and talk to me, but I don't know if I do want to be a good role model. I do.
I want people to be like, oh, look, I want to be like Jerome.
No.
Whether that's with bodybuilding or with being as a human, as a person, whatever it may be.
That's a very strong mindset.
Oh,
See, I don't think like that. I'm not saying I like it. I do like it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. It's cool, hey?
It is cool, man.
It is.
I know. I like stuff like that. I love affirmations and things like that. Things also mindset of that stuff, because why not? But But I'm saying to you, I don't think that, and it is a detriment to me. Like we all have our own little kind of demons and our flaws.
Yeah, I understand.
And I don't never want to talk like I'm the most confident guy. I'm not even the best property investor right now. I've got property, but I'm not. I'm way off. I'm fucking backfiring. I don't know how, but like I said, but once you get into that zone,
yeah, I think it's like it will
It's in your mind.
It will only do you good. Like, and we do it just with Ava now, and just trying to get her in that right mindset. And she knows that she's beautiful. She knows that she's pretty. She knows that she's loved by everyone. She knows that she's got so many friends. And it's just because we've got the affirmations every night.
I love that. Well done. Well, you said here you're very robot-like.
Yeah.
You thrive on the perfect weeks, perfect days. You won't miss a beat. You love the progression, and it drives you to be better and working harder.
Yep, that's me.
You like the systems, eh?
I love this. I love routine. I love system.
Do you write? Are you big? Are you diary driven? No. Are you goal driven? Do you write goals? Like you have a vision board or anything like that?
It's all in my head.
Yeah.
All in my head. I don't usually like doing that. No.
No. Do you think you'll ever do it? I'm just asking the question.
I have in the past, but it might stay around for like a very short period of time. But I don't usually.
I'm reading this book called
So I've got like this. So for example, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry because
no.
I'm just.
So like for example, like the last show, that has been in the back of my mind every time I've walked in the gym, and that's all I think about. There's no one that's going to beat me. There's no one. All these shit things that people have said. I want to show everyone. That's just how I operate.
Okay, I don't know what. Bodybuilding is a funny industry.
It is.
Fuck me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
It's
God.
like a bunch of little girls.
Man, I'm glad you said that. But like I said, really, honestly, man.
Hey guys, Steve here, Muscle Talks podcast. I'm super excited about the affiliation that we're doing here with Pawtion. I care so much about what I consume, let alone I care so much about my pets. I even care about my viewers, and I'm a big advocate for good food. So especially with single source natural product for dogs, I'm a big fan of, and I want you to reap the rewards and the benefits. Pawtion.com.au, go there, first order Muscle Talks 25, get 25% off. Continuing orders, Muscle Talks 10. I strongly recommend that if you're looking after yourself, you're going to want to look after your furry ones as well. Natural, single source product. Pawtion.com.au. Use Muscle Talks 25, first order, Muscle Talks 10, second order. Go get it now.
So the current show is what's important to you right now and getting pro card, yeah?
Yep, that's fine. Well, first of all, it's improving.
Yep.
Everyone wants to win. I understand that. I want to win badly.
First call out.
First call out overall. That's what I want.
Best amateur.
Best amateur. I want to win. I want to win the whole show. But I know everyone's there to win, and I know I'm also confident in what I've done in the past 2 years to be able to prove and show that.
Do you guys know the lineup? Like, do you know who's coming on board? Is there something on the internet where you guys can see?
No,
you don't know. But you have a little bit of an idea.
Okay. All on social media, yeah.
All right. Well, let's go over the body. Let's start finishing it up, right?
Cool.
Get you back out there to do what you do best.
Sure.
I'm going to tell you a body part.
Yep.
Just one exercise, sets and reps.
Cool.
So it doesn't have to be, we're not doing it like it's just one exercise, because there's many exercises you can do. One exercise, sets and reps. Traps.
A deadlift.
Deadlift.
And sets and reps. 2 sets of 6 to 10.
Wow. Do you know 2023 to 2024, when I said traps, everyone goes, don't train them. Now I'm training them again. It's just funny. When I say forearms, people go, don't train them. Now they're training them.
I train forearms.
No, what I'm saying is it seems to be making comebacks. Even abs. People go, no, in the kitchen. Now everyone's talking about ab exercises. Don't ask me. It's just somehow I think they thought they didn't need them and now they need them.
Well, ever since my last show, someone said to me, you got shit forearms. I've trained them. I haven't missed a session also.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying to you. No, but what I mean is many people in the beginning, remember Chris? No traps, no forearms. Everyone. Traps, don't train them. Traps, don't train them. Guys, don't train them. What about forearms? Don't train them. Abs, don't train them.
Well, I do train your abs. I do train all those things.
Well,
I have so far.
I was surprised, but then again, I was surprised. Delts, rear delts.
Reverse pec deck, 2 sets of 12 to 15.
Okay. Front delts.
Some kind of shoulder press, maybe like a Nautilus Nitro shoulder press, 2 sets of 8, 10.
Side delts.
Cable wire raise, 12, 15. 2 sets of 12, 15.
Okay. Bicep.
A preacher curl single arm, 2 sets of 8 to 12.
Tricep.
Cable push down, 2 sets of 8, 12.
Okay. Lats, back exercise.
Cal Gym axle based lat focused row, the one at Metroflex.
Which one's that?
The one that's, I'll show you next time I'm there, and you're there.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Please, I will ask you. Chest.
Star Trek leverage flat press,
How many sets and reps?
2 sets of 6 to 10.
And the other one, the back.
2 sets of 8 to 10.
2 sets. Forearms.
In the session, I would do 6 sets of 10 to 30 reverse curls, and that would kind of be it. And then the next session, I would do 6 sets of 10 to 12 for just a regular cable curls.
I think the forearms are as fucked as the calves, and when you don't pay attention to them, and I've got my calves growing now, which is great. I'm happy, but I think I treat.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Huh?
They're pretty good.
No, they could be better. But I'm just saying, but it's because you do them when you're walking out the gym.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. You say, "See, guys," and then you're quickly grabbing weights, and you go, "I've got to get to the car. I've got to get." That's how calves used to be. That's why Jake Hartler said, "Do calves first, as soon as and do it twice a week." Right. So maybe forearms, you got to do them first. So before you even touch anything, go do forearms because you don't walk out of the gym.
That's right.
So that's why
I understand that. Yeah.
Do we say sets and reps for forearms?
6 sets of 10, 12.
Abs.
I've always been just an advocate of just body weight stuff, so I might do 1 set of 45 ab crunches on like a ball, and then 1 set of 45 or 50 or so of a leg raise.
Okay. Quads.
Hack squat, 2 sets of 6 to 10.
Okay, a lot of 2 sets. Hammies.
Cybex VR3 lying curl, 2 sets of 10, 12.
Glutes.
Single leg dumbbell RDL, 2 sets of 6 to 10.
Yeah, I've seen you do that. Yeah. Calves.
A donkey calf, 2 sets of 10 to 30.
You know how lucky we are to have that donkey calf machine?
I know, it's great.
You can't find that, mate.
I know.
That was in every gym, back in the
Crazy how it's all
80s,
changed.
90s. Yeah, and it's back. Like, it's the best.
I know.
But you can sit there and just read a book.
I know, it's so comfortable too.
That's what I'm saying. It's the most comfortable calf machine you can ever do. You can even load it up and just read a book.
I know.
Tibialis, because I like to sound technical.
That tibialis like machine that I think it's by hammer strength. You put your foot in, maybe 2 sets of 15.
Okay. Well, time to promote yourself, mate. How can we find you? Where can we find you?
Instagram _Jerome.Simpson. You'll find me there. What other social media do I use? Got my Facebook. Don't really use that too much. It's mainly just Instagram.
And you want to mention any sponsors or anything like that?
Yes, sponsors. So firstly, shout out to Metro. They've always helped me in every single way, shape and form. Sparta, the guys there have helped me the past 6 years for my deep tissue massages.
Yep.
And then finally, Amino Z. Amino Z have helped me out. I've been going them for years. They've helped me out for years too. Wow. Protein, all that stuff, excellent. And then also my wife. Can't forget.
Well, there you go. She's a sponsor too. Jeez,
Can't forget the wife.
What about the saxophone company? What about the saxophone company, mate? Yamaha. Yamaha pianos. We'd like to thank Yamaha pianos. Next time we'll just have to, we'll bring in a piano. We'll sit over and have a little brandy, and you play the saxophone. Oh, Chris, you can play the drums, can't you?
Yeah, I can play the piano.
You can play the piano?
Yeah, guitar.
I can sing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can't sing.
There we go.
Jerome?
Thank you.
It's been amazing. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you, you too. Cheers. Nice time.